Hello, dear passengers. This is your captain speaking, and we are about to take off for another episode of Adventulina. Hey guys, Adventulina here for another episode of my travel podcast. It's Sunday fun day, and we are, I guess, mentally preparing for the new week. There's something about Monday and all the responsibilities that come with it, right? And somehow everything we have been postponing always starts from Monday. But which Monday exactly? No one knows. Well, all I know about my upcoming Monday is that it counts 10 days left until my next trip. Next place I'm going is Las Vegas, a destination I've been to 4-5 times, I want to say. I think that will be the fifth one. Yeah, Vegas is a lot of fun. There's always something happening there, and I love the fact that it never sleeps, just like New York City. And it's as crazy as San Francisco, maybe even a little crazier. But anyway, I'm excited. It's not going to be crazy hot. I'm going to hit a festival and a show, plus a couple of other cool things along with the new attraction, the Sphere. The best part for me though will be going to the Bulgarian restaurant there. As you guys know, I'm Bulgarian, and as maybe you don't know, there are no goddamn Bulgarian restaurants in San Francisco and even in the Bay Area. So yep, I'm craving Bulgarian food like crazy and I will eat like a pig. Actually, like the pig I am. I still can't believe how with about 4,000 restaurants in San Francisco, I'm not exaggerating by the way, and like all kinds of cuisines for all over the globe, there is not even a single restaurant with Bulgarian food. There is though a Bulgarian food truck, which is still an amazing option if you guys are in San Francisco and you haven't tried Bulgarian food, or you have tried, loved it and want more, or you tried, you didn't like it and you want to give it a second chance. Just kidding. This can't happen. We are talking Bulgarian food. Excuse me. Anyway, in all those cases, please go check Cooker Food Truck. They're usually at Presidio Tunnel Tops in San Francisco every Sunday in the afternoon. God bless them. So delicious. So yeah, next time I will update you guys on how the food in Vegas was, how the festival and the show went, as well as the road trip part. Maybe more challenges will come along. After all, it's me, not to pull the devil's tail, but we'll see. This was not really a trip that I was looking to save a lot of money on though, because I already knew I was going to attend this festival and I wanted to see that show, and I'm always ready to splurge on experiences, so fuck it. As we know, there is never a budget for me when it comes to a new experience. I have been to Vegas a few times, as I said, so I don't really care about saving to have more for spending there. I have already been there, I have seen what I wanted to see, and it's fine. However, I know I promised you guys to talk about more ways to save money for traveling, so why don't we talk a little bit more about that? First and foremost, I want to be very clear. Saving money for traveling for me doesn't mean collecting change and breaking your piggy bank at the end of the year. I mean, if you can do it, go for it. I personally cannot wait to travel one time per year. That would literally kill me or get me sick. I don't know. Some people are like, I don't have enough money to do everything I want to. I respect that. I am like, I don't have enough money to do what I want. Let's find ways to make more money. Priorities. I know people who keep claiming they cannot afford traveling, but at the same time, they spend tons of money on clothes, purses, makeup, and things like that. And that's okay. You like it, it's your money, get it. But don't tell me you don't have money to travel. It's obvious that you have, you just spend it on something else. Again, priorities. I'm right the opposite. You won't find anything expensive in my closet. Maybe one purse and a couple of jackets, which are always a good investment, I would say. But overall, I don't like spending money on things like that. I'm not saying it's bad if you do whatever makes you happy. It just doesn't make me happy. Maybe at the moment when I'm buying it for a little bit, but most of the time, the second I get home and take it out of the bags, I kind of regret it because I don't really need it. Well, most of the time. I, of course, want to look good like every other person on this planet, but I'm not going to spend a fortune on things that I would keep piling up for no reason. For us girls, let's admit it, our closets are full and we still have nothing to wear. So I'm good with not having much anymore. I know it's nice and practical and smarter if you buy one item for more money and wear it longer because of the better quality. I'm aware of that, but God, I would just so prefer to have 10 t-shirts, $10 each instead of one for 100. Literally for me here is quantity over quality in this case. After all, who cares if your t-shirt is $10 if you're wearing it abroad at a new destination? Sign me up. Over the time, I would just catch myself not being excited about any of the things I would buy fashion-wise. Clothes, bags, purses, makeup, not that I wear any, but still skincare shit, for example. I would just buy them and I would sit there looking at it, thinking how much money I spent on something I don't really need, but I was impulsive to buy. And I would always compare the money I spent on those things to what I could have bought travel-wise. Like, oh, I got these jeans, hoodie, and a purse, $25 each, a great deal, but this is $75. For like 25 more, I could fly to Vegas, for example. And I know it's wrong to compare everything like this, but I just cannot help it. Every time I make a bigger purchase, I just think of how much better I could have spent this money. Meaning I could have traveled with it. Or do something fun. Because that's what I want to spend my money on. Experiences. Making memories. My point is, spend your money on what makes you happy. But if you have to choose between two things to spend money on, you will always prioritize the one that you like better. So it's a matter of priorities. And I'm not talking about choosing between traveling and paying rent, bills, and stuff like that. Almost no choice there. As I have mentioned before, I don't come from a rich family, although I have always had everything I needed, even more, on top of amazing parents. But somehow I started saving money when I was pretty young. I want to say 5, 6 years old. I would get those piggy banks and collect money from holidays, birthdays, and all similar occasions. This actually really helped me be responsible with my finances later when I started like my first job. I think I was 15. It may sound silly, but when I was a kid and I had some money saved, I would keep them in a piggy bank or some kind of locked box. And despite being able to open it and take the money anytime, I would never do it. The saved money for me was always money that kind of didn't exist. In other words, I wouldn't touch it ever unless for the thing I'm saving for. And I'm the same until today. I never touch my savings unless I am using them for the thing I was saving for. I even had some of my friends, they would give me their savings and be like, okay, keep this money because I won't be able to do it. Like, once I have it with me, I'll spend it. So you just keep it and I'll get it from you later. I'm like, damn, that's a different level of trust. Love that. This whole thing with being responsible with my finances comes very useful when you start saving for traveling and you need to keep saving without spending this amount. I became more creative on how to make money here and there, once or regularly. And yes, sometimes this has covered a big chunk of my trip. I also love using saved money for buying like travel related stuff, outfits for my vacations, for example. As we already know, $10 t-shirts. Joke. Well, not really. Like travel items, essentials, things like that. So I'm not cheap. I want to be clear about that. I only try to spend less on the things that won't affect my experiences and memories from this trip. I would love to save on the accommodation that I won't be spending any time at. But for an experience, for something iconic to do at a destination or something I haven't done, there's no budget for me. I don't care. Take my money. Like, take my money. Take it. Is that a song or I just made it up? No. I think I heard it on Instagram. Anyway, my point is, give me the deal from the things that I don't care about, but let me splurge on experiences. Don't save on experiences. Never sacrifice an experience for a nicer hotel, let's say. You won't live in the hotel, but the memory of what you do at your destination will kind of like live with you for the rest of your life. Damn, that was pretty iconic. We often underestimate how little money here and there can help us achieve a goal. For everyone who's gonna be like, oh, that cannot happen, okay, let me put it this way. How about this $5-6 Starbucks coffee you drink every day? Yeah, only $5, you would say. You spend $5 in San Francisco literally once you wake up in the morning and open your eyes. Well, pretty much. So $5 per day doesn't matter, right? But how much is that for a month? Like, look at your savings the same way. Might be $5 here and $10 there, but overall, it piles up. Especially if you do a few things and especially if you do it often. Now, what to do and how often to do it, you ask, in order for us to afford more traveling. So let's dive into it. The saving process happens not just before the trip, but also during the trip itself. First, let's start with the things you can do before going on your trip. We already know that most of the savings for a trip come from the deals and how much you pay for your transportation and accommodation. In other words, the less you spend on those things, the more you have to spend on experiences, activities, food, souvenirs, you name it. Being flexible with dates is the best way to spend less for your vacation. You basically go for the cheaper without having to care which day it is. One of the things that makes the most money at once for the long run, if you do it regularly, is selling stuff you don't need and you don't use anymore. I dare you, go to your closet now and take a look. I bet you will find tons of stuff you don't wear anymore, but you still keep for unknown reasons. Like, just let go of them. You're not going to wear those things, you just think you will. And if it's something super sentimental for you, hell yeah, keep it, but otherwise get rid of it. Sometimes you think, who would buy that shit? Trust me, sometimes you will sell the most ridiculous thing in your closet and you won't be able to sell the item you thought you were going to make the most money from. There are different people everywhere with different tastes, or with no taste, I'm just kidding. So years ago, I started selling the clothes, purses, and jewelry that I didn't wear anymore, and I made a good amount of money that covered, I want to say 90%, if not even more, of my trip to Milan in Italy for 2 people. Just like that. Almost out of nowhere. You find the best platforms to sell on, even the ones you think you would not sell shit on. Just try them. You never know. Take some good photos of your items. That's super important because, we think with our eyes when it comes to shopping. So, well, not only for shopping, but different topic. Second and most sustainable thing that works perfectly for the long run, not only for, savings, but also for your credit score, as I said last time, is your credit card perks and deals. Utilize them. Like, shop with them to get the deal. Pay with them to get the points or miles. I just booked another round trip to the East Coast for November for $100 after I used miles to exchange. It's so worth it, I promise you guys. 3 great things that come with credit card shopping. First, you earn either miles or points that you can later exchange for hotels or flights. Second, you shop from the deals and get discounts or cashback or both. And third, you most likely generate additional cashback on your everyday spendings depending on your card. So it's like 3 in 1. Another thing you can do to fund your future trip is taking surveys online. There are a bunch of platforms that will pay you to give them your opinion in the form of a gift card or credit to a specific store or chain. Use that to cover your travel essentials expenses and things you need to buy for your trip that don't include accommodation and transportation. Maybe you need cosmetics from Sephora or another store. exchange the credit for that. Maybe you need a new suitcase, spend the credit on that. Maybe you want a Polaroid camera, get one with the credit they gave you for your opinion. By the way, that's exactly what I got after my last survey. They got me $150. I bought a Polaroid camera and I love it. Anyway, this is money that doesn't come directly to you in cash, but still comes. Same for using a browser extension. Those little guys will show you the deals across the internet while you're searching for your item, and you won't lift a finger. Why not? It's free, it's fast, it's easy. Just install a browser extension on your browser and let it do the work for you. Once you start shopping and purchasing, you'll start generating points to exchange for credit. Later on, you'll get gift cards and buy stuff you need for your trip. That's how I got one of my swimming suits for Hawaii last year. It's not much, but it's like for free, because again, it comes from nowhere. One of my favorite options for you to make money and fund your traveling is using Fiverr. Fiverr is a platform for freelancers where you can literally find people for everything, from English teachers through painters to people to write our homework, literally people for absolutely everything. If you have a skill that you can use and charge people for, this is a great way for you to make extra money. Some people literally make passive income that covers most of their expenses. It sometimes becomes a full-time job as people find their niche and see how they can make money from what they're good at. So if you have a talent or a skill, utilize it. If you don't, maybe learn how to do something and start from there. It takes time and persistence, but it can pay off pretty well. So keep that in mind. Lastly, find discounts, get promotions, apply coupons, hit discount days. Those little things matter as well and make a difference. I, for example, tend to save up to 25% before going to the grocery store just because I checked the deals and the coupons before I went. And this is a big difference. It's like 1/4 of what I'm spending. When booking tickets for experiences, always check a few sources. Don't just buy from the first website you see. I can't tell you guys how many times I would check for a ticket. Even yesterday, I was looking for tickets for this Las Vegas show, and I was about to buy them from one of the main ticket providers. And then I checked the official website of the city of Las Vegas, and I paid about $35 or $40 less. That's literally what we are going to probably consume during the show is drinks, let's say. Also, if you travel in a group, make sure to, check group discounts. Part 2 of the saving tips would be saving money while traveling. And I want to be clear on that one. Saving money while traveling during your vacation, as we already discussed, should come from the factors that are not related to your experiences and activities. Like public transportation, from the airport to your accommodation and back. This is a topic that often crosses people's minds once they're at the airport. I understand that getting a cab right after exiting the airport is more convenient, but why not saving some money for later? If you're traveling with just a carry-on, taking a train or shuttle can be not only easy but also cheap. Public transport will always be the cheapest form of transportation, so give it a try. I have been surprised many times how quickly and cheap some cities' buses and trains take passengers from and to the airport. Seattle, for example, is one of the cities that I have in my mind right now. I remember once I got on the train at the airport, it took me literally to the heart of the city, 5 minutes away from my accommodation for about $3, and it wasn't even a long ride, maybe like 30-40 minutes. So before leaving for your vacation, take a moment to explore your transportation choices to and from the airport. This will not only save you money, but also will make your commute stress-free. I personally hate it if I have to figure out things on the go. I start feeling the pressure of wasting time, being late, internet access, messing up buses. It's just not worth it. Have those things arranged in advance. Save yourself money, time, and headache. Going back to flexibility, you sometimes will have the chance to volunteer for another flight. Airlines often offer miles or credit or other perks when they need to accommodate extra passengers. So if you are flexible, if you don't care when you leave and when you get back, take advantage of that and get the perks. You can participate once they announce it. You can even go check with them without any announcements. It doesn't hurt to try. If it's not going to disrupt your schedule, why not get some credit for your next flight? Back to experiences, by the way, another way to save money while traveling is if you check the free events and places at your destination. There are tons of free museums, dates, and stuff like this, free concerts, exhibits, you name it. And let's admit it, sometimes if it's not free, you wouldn't even think of going there. Just like you wouldn't think of buying this shit you don't need unless it's $4.99. That's just how it works, like it or not. So last month when I was in Washington, D.C., for example, as I mentioned in my previous episode, all the museums there are free. So there's a big variety of museums to visit at no cost. Not only did I visit more museums that I would have visited if I had to pay, but I also didn't spend a dime and got to use the money for eating in nice restaurants that would definitely not be budget friendly on a regular trip, where I would spend more money for museums. So take advantage of that. See more for free and eat more in nice restaurants, I guess. The last and probably the most complicated thing that you need bigger commitment to is renting while you are gone. I'm not only talking about your place, I'm also talking about your car, unless you're going on a road trip, I guess. People who travel often see this great opportunity as an income that is literally going to cover their trips. It depends though on the type of person you are. Some people literally cannot imagine letting strangers in their home or having to deal with complications like cleaning and stuff like that. But keep in mind that there are enough platforms out there that will make the process super easy for you and will verify people before they book your place. Maybe you have a spare room, even better. Can be designated for that. I mean, if you live in freaking San Francisco, you most likely have no spare room because every apartment here is like a closet size for like $5,000. But anyway, if you live in a normal city, I guess you can have a spare room. Same for your car. You're not going to use it if you're traveling by plane, but maybe there are people who are looking for one. You will make $0 if you leave your car at home in the garage, and even if you make $20 of it in case someone books it, you will always have a profit. Think about that. The key, guys, is to not stop finding ways to save money here and there. I know some of those things don't sound like a big difference at the moment, but again, they are for the long run. I have covered my whole vacation in Italy in 2017 from the money I made by selling clothes and accessories that I didn't wear anymore. I covered a big part of my Santorini hotel expense in 2018 with money I made by referring people to book accommodation. People still don't believe me when I say we paid like $200 for 5 nights in Greece for a great location and conditions. Freaking Santorini. I have more and more examples, and now that I think about it, there is not a single trip in my life that happened without some kind of savings, either prior or during, and I love that. Maybe if it wasn't for the savings, I wouldn't be able to afford it. So what are you waiting for? Start exploring more ways to make money, because this bucket list with thousands of places is waiting. It won't take care of itself, okay? Speaking of taking care, there have been some questions received through the form on my website, Adventulina.com, and I wanted to do a little Q&A. It's been a minute since we've done it. I would say let's do 3. I have my email where I receive the submissions, and I'll try to click on a random one. Wish you guys could see, but, well, it ain't a TV show, okay? Let me see. Okay, so first one from Tally. Maybe Natalia, but anyway, Tally. What's the thing you worry about most while traveling? Damn, that's a good one. I haven't thought of this really, but let me see. I guess it depends on the type of the trip. Meaning if it's a solo one or you travel with someone. I always have this anxiety prior to a solo trip, which I think is normal. After all, you're going somewhere you haven't been most of the time. You don't know what to expect. You're by yourself. You have no one to rely on except for yourself. I guess what bothers me most when traveling is safety. When I'm by myself, I worry if I will be fine. That's the most important thing. The second thing I worry about, that's maybe the weather. Meaning if it sucks, it's going to mess up my plan and I'll be really, really upset. I'm getting actually upset just thinking about it. But thank you, Tali, for the question. That's a great question. Okay, let's do one or two more depending on how long my answers will be. Well, I tend to not shut the fuck up, so probably just one. Okay, second question. Oops. What the hell? Billie Eilish? No. Okay, I'm sure that's not actually Billie fucking Eilish, but whoever used this nickname, hi, let's answer your question. The question is, who the fuck are you? Okay, Billie, sweetie, what do you mean? Who the fuck am I? Okay, let me see. I'm fucking Evelina. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. I am Evelina. I'm from Bulgaria. Blah blah. I guess this is the basic. Should I even go on? I mean, if you ask me this way, you probably don't really care. I highly doubt you want to know more about me. So obviously Billie Eilish is not a fan of mine for some reason, but that's okay, Billie. Life goes on. Let me just proceed to another question. Yeah, let's do a third one. Okay, I hope it's something nicer. 1, 2. Okay, let me see. Please don't ask me who the fuck I am. Okay, this comes from Silly. I was going to say Silly Goose, but yeah, okay, double Silly. Silly is asking, what's the best advice you give to people who want to travel but really cannot afford it? Oh, that's a good question, but it makes me sad. You're right, Silly. Sometimes, no matter how much you try to save and what techniques you use, it just doesn't work because you are on a really tight budget or you are going through some financial difficulties or other reasons that, prevent you from saving money. To those folks, I want to say first, I'm really sorry if that's the case, and I hope things get better. But until things get better, how about exploring your own place, your town, area, country? There is, I bet, so much to see everywhere, and I feel like sometimes we know more about other places than about our own home. Sounds familiar? Use your time to explore whatever is close to you, whatever is affordable to you, and whatever doesn't require much money. And, while you're doing that, just keep believing that things will get better and one day you have the chance to explore further. Just don't stop believing. Literally. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's one of my favorite songs and I truly believe it changes things. So I hope you start exploring your area and maybe you become an expert in doing it. Maybe you start taking groups to the places you have found and maybe you start making money. And I hope one day this money is enough for you to comfortably travel to your dream destination. But yeah, I hope that's a satisfying answer to such a sweet question. And again, I'm sorry if that's the case. And with that said, guys, I want to thank you for listening to another episode of your girl, Adventulina. I appreciate your questions, your interest in the show, and everything you share with me. Even you, Billie Eilish, appreciate your honest question. Kind of loved it, actually. So if you want to keep hearing from me, guys, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave a comment, give feedback, send me an email, tell me your story. Hope your week is going to be amazing, and I will see you guys once my next episode lands, which is, shortly. Bye-bye.